Welcome to Wonder Wildflower. We're homeschooling parents talking about marriage, parenting, and everything in between.
Them in
The in
betweens.
between. Well, this one is an in between.
This one is not in between. What we talking about?
Homeschool.
Okay, no, I guess that's kind of almost the definition,
hmm
right? What about homeschool? Are we talking about?
How we started.
Mm, I
What do
rem-
you remember about that time? Okay, so how many years ago was that? A lot of
um,
years now. 5. 5 years ago.
well, I think because I am
Madly in love with me.
no kind of just in the throes of things.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been a stay-at-home mom,
Mm-hmm.
wife since Judah was born,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that was 10 years. It's been 11 years. And so, to answer your question, what I remember about that time or that kind of shift or whatnot, you were taking care of Judah. My head, like, I didn't even, once, I don't think that we even talked about it at all. I recall I was working in New York. I was home. I was a weekend dad, kind of.
You were gone
I was,
Sunday through Thursday.
yeah, so I
Yeah.
was kind of a weekend dad. And you were coming up to New York with me like every other week.
Yes.
And I'm not sure what happened. Did Jay end up going to pre-K or something? I remember he went there for like 1 or 2 weeks.
Yes. If you asked him, we abandoned him for a long time. Um, so was
Thanks
that?
for taking over.
Yeah, he was struggling. Um, but we had decided to homeschool before we sent him to preschool.
We decided.
We had. So
Are you
he was
sure?
for, yeah, because I remember saying to somebody that, and we might have just have decided like right around then, because he was just about to, he was closer, he was about to turn 5, which meant that following school year he would be going to kindergarten. And I remember saying, well, if we get him into preschool, it will set him up to like be able to homeschool and like know how to sit and raise his hand. And yeah, like that's what my brain thought.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's
I
weird.
don't recall that at all.
You didn't listen to that.
I actually don't even remember any type of discussion surrounding it.
No, I didn't say it to you. I said it to my mom.
Oh, see, it wasn't even to me in
No,
conversation.
I
You
remember
so
it
you
like that was
decided.
no, but no, I remember of course I didn't decide. You know that's not how we work. But I remember just like saying to you, like, I'm not ready for him to go to school and you just went with it. There was not a long conversation. I did not have to convince you. I wouldn't have even have known how to try to convince you. I just knew I did not want my baby away from me.
Yeah, I don't know at all. Like I can't recall. Just feel like I remember the pre-K thing.
hmm
I remember uh, the hey, we had to did we stop sending him because I stopped working that job in New York?
hmm
Okay. And that's all that I recall.
Yeah, I
And I
think
recall you saying the story of like putting him on the bus. I just couldn't break away with the thought of having to put him on a bus.
yeah.
But
And
after that,
one of our family members mocked me a little bit when I said that. And I was like, no, but for real, like you just give your kid to a stranger that you don't know in this huge vehicle without seatbelts and just like hope they drive your kid to school. Like,
dude,
what the heck?
the way that you put that, that's
That's what it
very
is. That's what you're giving your kid. And you know those buses are not calm. That
no,
well,
man. I
do you know
remember
how
those
overwhelmed
buses.
do you know how overwhelmed we get like driving with our 2 children who are very loud in the car?
I know how overwhelmed you make me.
I make you overwhelmed?
Yeah.
I
The
make you
whole
overwhelmed? That's what we need to. I didn't get what you were saying. Like when I was loud, I'm like, no, no. When you try to kill
you
us.
become the whole seatbelt. No,
Oh,
you,
oh,
cause remember
yeah.
you became for a long time. I'm not sure why I switched up, but for a while you became the predominant driver
Because you
because
were
you did
terrible
not like the
driver.
way I
Yeah.
drove. However, you've been in more
They weren't my
accidents,
fault
but
though.
you still more accidents than I have been. Like
Mhm.
you have not been
But your accents were your fault. My accents were not my fault.
okay, but still,
No,
since you've
that's
known
not
me, I
true.
have not been in an
No.
accident.
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Since I've known you, you have been in an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, you took over the predominant driving skills, and so you drive and like something happens,
This
you
doesn't have
put
anything to
the
do with how
it
this
doesn't,
started.
but you become the whole like
Uh-huh.
arm seatbelt thing.
Yeah, I do. You're welcome. I saved your life. Um, oh, we
So
should be doing a live for Felicia. So that just popped into my head. Um, yes. So the idea of because we were in a great school system, the
mhm.
elementary school that I went to, super small.
That your
Um,
grandfather actually was the
my
principal
grandfather was
at
actually the
one point in time.
principal at one point.
Was he the principal when you went there?
No,
Okay.
no, but he hired my gym teacher, my art teacher, my music teacher. Um, so I mean, obviously those people are not there now. Um, but yeah, it was a great school system. It was a, like one, I don't know what this means really any, but a blue ribbon school.
Oh, I remember that
Um,
being labeled.
but it was a small school, wasn't this like over now the middle school and high school were terrifying and I would never send my children there at any point. Um, we were just strict for where we went. Um, so yeah, it just kind of happened. No one really questioned us. No one like said, "Are you sure?" We did have a family member when I brought up the bus thing go, "Oh yeah, like everyone does. Like that makes it okay. Like that makes it less
Yeah, no,
scary and terrifying."
the way that you played it out made it very, very scary for me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Goodbye, kid. I hope this strange person just takes you to school and doesn't get in a terrible car accident on the way
no
there.
wonder. I'm assuming they have to do a background
You don't
check.
even want to get me started on how people, you don't even want to get me started. Nobody knows anybody. John Wayne Gacy, he worked and people didn't run background checks on him. All I'm saying, he's a serial killer and I have no idea what I'm talking
So
about.
this has nothing to do with that, but maybe someone may find it fascinating. So remember, I used to work at the FBI, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm talking to Jared and barista today,
Mm-hmm.
right?
May,
Or no,
a different one.
yeah, it was Madison, but I wasn't
Oh,
gonna like throw names out. But
oh, okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
anyway, so we're having a conversation,
Uh-huh.
and somehow profiling comes up in the conversation,
You're great
right?
profiling. Uh-huh.
And so Jared says, "Hey, Xander's been profiling you like this entire time." I'm like, "Yeah, I used to work at the FBI." She's like, "Are you kidding?" It's like, "No, I'm not kidding."
She's so cute.
She was like, "I feel like you're joking, not joking with me, or whatever word
Mm,
that she used." And I was like, "No, like for real. Like my job was breaking into phones, finding incriminating data, building profiles on people,
yeah.
right?" And so,
But you didn't profile them like the
no, we built profiles
yeah. But
like
not like the
surrounding.
behavior analysis
Yeah,
people.
no, man, I'm not that person.
Oh,
That's
I want to be that person.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's someone else,
Yeah.
right? We have friends who
Are we friends with you? Oh, right. No, no.
made
You can't say the names. You can't say names. Yeah.
no, you can't say names,
Yeah.
but also friends that are becoming psychologists, right? And so, anyways, so we are having a whole conversation about that, and I don't know where I was leading off to.
I was talking about how the bus driver could be a serial killer.
Oh, and background checks, right? And so I was saying, dude, like I wonder what the depth of the background check is. And it's just like just because you do a background check on somebody, right?
Yeah, it just
It
means they
doesn't
haven't
re-
been caught.
yeah, it doesn't really even
Yeah.
really mean
Sorry.
anything.
Oh,
And
no.
so I think that was the point that I was telling her. We were talking just about relationships and things of that nature. And I was saying that I don't feel as if that I am jaded from that time, but it always makes me second guess people,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like you don't ever know the full story of somebody.
That's how I feel now that I've been consuming all this true crime.
Well, yeah, but I've been telling you that for years. As it
Yeah.
pertains to like government and things of that nature, is like, hey,
Yes.
you're only consuming a quarter of what
Yes, you
you
have
know
said
that's
that.
put it out, but that's not the full story.
Yes, you have said that.
Anyways, so deschooling background checks of people. What brought us to what is the rest of that journey? So we got the beginning part, right?
Mm-hmm. So my first step was getting on Facebook and being like, I want to homeschool. What do I need to do? I wanted to find a co-op.
It was
Um,
Facebook that you used.
yeah,
Okay.
I didn't really use Instagram back then. I don't think. I mean, I did because I had like 7,000 posts, so I had to have been doing that for a while, but um, not the way that I use it now. And I posted on some, probably like a, mom's page and got contacted about the co-op, joined the co-op, and a woman who I
Was
had,
that the co-op that you were with the entire time?
yeah,
Oh,
you know that.
No, I didn't really know that it was the same one
Yeah,
all that time that we were up
yeah.
there. Okay. How
So
much I know.
I know you're so so a woman that I had gone to church with, and she's older than me and has older kids and everything, she had been homeschooling for a while. And she told me that I should get this specific curriculum because it is the most like school, it's the most rigorous. It'll set him up in case I ever choose to send him to school. He'll be good to go. And so I did that.
Oh, bless her heart.
Oh, bless her heart. Now she's graduated kids out of homeschool and they're doing great. So her method worked for her family.
Yeah.
Um, did not work for us.
Okay. What do you feel did not work with that?
So in that first year, I couldn't have put words to it. I wouldn't have known, but I knew we were both a little bored with it. It was great as far as
Like you were bored with it?
yeah,
Does it matter that you were bored with it?
yes, I have to teach it.
Okay.
Um, it was a little boring. It was a little tedious. There was like busy work, I felt like, and
Like in school?
yeah. But again, this is my first experience, so I didn't really know, and I didn't know a lot of people that homeschooled.
Yeah.
Um, and then we finished up the year and we finished the entire curriculum. Every last worksheet, every last
And this
book.
was
And
kindergarten?
this is kindergarten. We finished everything. And keep in mind, I had a 3-year-old also, a very wild 3-year-old. Um,
Yeah.
he was probably 2 when we started. I'm not mathing right now, but um, so yeah, that's what we did. And I was like, I didn't like that. And we were both pretty burnt out by the end of the school year.
Did you go to the same schedule that public school went to?
No, because we didn't school all day long, but we did spend a lot more time than I did a few years later when I did kindergarten with our youngest.
Okay. So oftentimes, like looking back, I typically, so I'm in the real estate, right?
Hmm.
And when I look back at mistakes that I've made, just being completely ignorant, right?
Hmm.
So being green, no one really telling me, you know,
Hmm.
of how real estate could benefit your life
Hmm.
in a very financial way.
Hmm.
And knowing what I know now and just kind of kicking myself for some of the decisions that I made,
Hmm.
what would you do? So now that you know
Hmm.
things, right? You're further along in your journey,
Uh-huh.
right? Not all the way there, but
Hmm.
what would you do different?
Can like any camera see your face?
No. Do you want
So
me to just look at this one?
yeah,
While you
because I'm
talk?
gonna make a confession.
Oh, shoot.
I'm gonna make a confession. So that was kindergarten, right?
Sure.
Jay's kindergarten year.
Uh-huh.
Following that year,
I'm gonna continue looking.
you should.
All right.
My watch just told me it was bedtime though, so we got hurt.
Mhm.
So following that year,
Okay.
Jay finished kindergarten in May,
Mm-hmm.
and sometime shortly after that, I got the book The Call of the Wild and Free by Ainsley Armett,
Okay.
and that completely changed everything.
And that
Um,
was what? First grade after
so Judah
kindergarten?
was going into first grade.
Okay.
So
Still looking in the camera? Is
yeah,
that
I'll just hurry up and get to the. We can backtrack a little bit. I'll get to the confession. Bennett never did an official kindergarten. Bennett never. We didn't do school that year.
so you signed him up for it,
Sign him
but
up
you
for
didn't do
what?
it?
He's homeschooled. I didn't sign him up for nothing.
But you had to like let the county know, right?
Okay, don't get me like arrested, but yeah.
I mean, we're not in that state any longer.
But we said what state we lived in. Don't worry, I still have the files. Um, he never did like an official sit down, write curriculum.
This explains some things.
Why he's so freaking smart.
Yes, kind of. I mean, remember, I mean, this is a whole different podcast.
Uh-huh.
I should probably remember that I'm saying this.
Mhm.
There, as far as expectations go, like,
But to be clear,
okay,
his kindergarten year was the year that we uprooted our family and moved 12 hours away from
oh, was
everyone.
it?
Yeah. So in my
Man,
mind,
really?
yes, why do you keep acting like I don't know what I'm talking about?
I mean, I think you do know stuff. Just like,
So in my mind, because even Jay didn't do a whole lot of like sit down schoolwork that year.
okay,
Um,
but that year was the year that you read that book.
No,
going into that year. So this would have
no.
been 2020 going into 2021,
Going into Judah's first grade year, I
which,
read it.
which was 2021.
I don't know what
Okay.
years
All
things
right.
are. 2020 broke
I'm
me. I
just
don't
trying
know.
to timeline it out because of my brain.
Okay, well,
It's okay. Go ahead.
just listen. So we moved here in 2021. So Bennett would be in kindergarten, Judah would have been in second grade. So there was a year in between that we were still home. And I ordered my father's world curriculum and we did that. And that one was beautiful and gentle and fun. And
Would you recommend it?
absolutely.
Okay.
A lot of hands-on learning, less like seat work boring. There was narration and things that I have a much greater appreciation for. Then we moved here in the summertime before Bennett would have gone into kindergarten. And my goal was making sure our family just didn't combust. And so I put the emphasis on making friends and adventuring and learning the area and going outside and being with people and creating community. So that's why he didn't really do like a sit down kindergarten. Also, some states don't even require kindergarten.
Okay.
Lots of countries don't do it either.
Does our state?
I don't know if Florida does.
Okay.
I don't know. I did do my evaluations. Everything went well. She actually wrote a rave review email to me. And I didn't lie, just gave her everything we did.
So, okay. The question, going back to the question,
Mm-hmm.
what would you do differently? So knowing what you know now.
I wouldn't have done kindergarten
Okay.
in a seated form.
Mm-hmm.
I would have read Wild and Free before.
Did you even know about it?
I didn't. I don't
How
even.
did you stumble across it?
Instagram.
Mm,
Somebody shared something, which is wild because she doesn't really post a whole lot.
good marketing.
Good
I
marketing.
wonder if that was Ben.
Um, I saw it on Instagram and just started following her. Um, those are the two, and I wouldn't have tried to recreate school at home because that's what I tried to do. I had little posters up of things and made him hold his pencil a certain way. Like, who cares how you hold your pencil as long as you know how to use it? It doesn't matter.
So
Um,
this kind of reminds me of a blog that you wrote that I don't think is out yet about deschooling.
yes, I did write a blog about deschooling. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, because it
So,
sounds like that time period
mm-hmm,
of the transition of moving south
mm-hmm.
may have been a time of deschooling.
Yes, I would say that it was. It was more
What is
difficult.
deschooling?
So I don't know like the short way to say it. It's just like getting your mind off of everything you've known about school. So like you and I went to traditional public school. I went to private school for a little while. Um, so school starts at 7, ends at 3. You do this, this, and this. School takes that long. It has to take that long. You have to do all of these subjects and you have to learn these specific things. And like why? Like we don't remember a lot of the things.
That's what Myron says.
I know, and that's why I love him. But like our kids, they're like learning the state capitals and stuff, and that's cool. And like, sure you should know, like if you want to know. But like, I, let me think of a state I don't know the capital of.
There's a ton I don't.
Okay, pick one. Do you know the capital of Wyoming?
Wyoming. We've been married too long, dude.
I believe the capital of Wyoming is Cheyenne. But, but
Like
like the name, like
Cheyenne
our friend, yeah.
is a huh. I saw
Um,
Cheyenne.
you saw
Yeah,
Cheyenne?
she gave me a good hug, and I was like, "Yo,
Love
you look
her.
good."
She does look good, doesn't she?
It's like, I mean, I didn't say it, but I was thinking like,
She's so beautiful. I
well, I
know.
told her that I was like,
She's,
"Hey, you looked
I
good,"
think she's thriving.
but she think,
I
"Oh,
do. I love her. Um, she FaceTimed me not long ago and it like made my whole day. Um, so yeah, so like you don't know the capital of Wyoming. You have had a successful career, you've built a family, you've worked for you worked for the FBI and you don't know the capital of Wyoming. So like why are we like killing these little babies trying to make sure that they know the capital of Wyoming and not teaching them Real estate, of course, you don't teach real estate to a first grader, but our kids know a lot more about real estate
Yep.
than we ever did. Um, so yeah, just getting off of this is what you have to do, this is how you have to do it, doing what works best for your family, because the truth is no one wants our boys to succeed and do better than we ever did, better than their grandparents ever did. We want them to succeed and thrive and be able to have whatever job they want, however long they want to do it, wherever they want to do it. So we are the best equipped to make sure they get there.
Yeah.
So
I believe that holds true.
good.
Good, because you're in it.
Because you're in it, friend.
And you're not changing.
um, so yeah, that is, I guess, like the short answer of deschooling is forgetting what you've known and figuring out what works best for your family while still following your state laws because you don't want to get yourself in trouble.
And you want your kid to learn.
And you want your kid to learn and thrive, absolutely. But I think, of course, there are what is it, exceptions to this, but I think the rule is most parents that homeschool choose to do so because either school is not serving their child and they feel like they can serve their child better and teach them and get them where they need to be. Um, and there's very few parents who homeschool for any nefarious or, you know,
I just had an idea.
what?
And I don't know if we should do it, but I think we're gonna do it.
I don't like what you're doing with that smile on your
I'm
face.
I'm the
What?
executive producer.
What are you doing?
Says I'm executive producer, I'm the producer. So that one post that you had on Instagram, I feel like we should read the comments.
The one where everyone got mad at me?
Yes.
Yeah. How do we can we put up the grammatical errors of the people that were yelling at me that I'm not qualified
No,
to
but
teach
what
my
I
children?
can do is I'll put it up on the screen. I'll do a
Mhm.
screen recording. And I can put it up on the screen.
Mhm.
Or you could do a screen recording right now and then you can send it to me
Okay.
as you read it.
Oh, like right now?
Yes. Or
Oh.
should I read them? No, I think it's better if you read them.
I would, well, Google find out if Cheyenne is the capital of Wyoming while I look this up.
You want me to fact check you?
Mhm.
What is the capital of Wyoming?
Cheyenne is the capital of Wyoming.
Sorry, I was looking for my post. You gave me a job.
Or should I read them to you? Which one is better?
Hold on, I gotta find
We'll
it
go back and
first.
forth.
Well, which one do you want me to read first?
I don't know. Just choose
Okay.
one.
Well, this one, there's a science to teaching reading. I've got a master's degree in it. Do you? Well, I have no master's degree in reading, but I have successfully taught both of our children how to read. And I will say is one of my proudest accomplishments that both of our children can read and read well, even if they pretend like they cannot when they don't want to. Well, Judah can't really get away with that anymore.
All right. Wow. These comments are so mean and disheartening. If you don't want to homeschool your children, then don't. I'm not sure why I'm reading it like that.
Like
But yes, any good parent can homeschool and do just as good, usually better than a public school. Why? Because a good parent cares more, is more in tune with that child, and goes to great lengths to help their child be the best they can be. Also, in case anyone forgot, you do not need a teaching degree to teach public school. You just need a degree. Nowadays, in California, you don't even need that.
Which is true. We have friends who are teachers that do not have a degree in education.
That is true.
Oh, this one. I wouldn't homeschool because I like my kids to interact with other children. But when my daughter was 4 years old, she asked me to teach her how to read and learned fairly quickly and enjoyed the process. So another mom to taught her child
How do you
to
feel
read.
about that? The whole
That's a
socialized.
whole different podcast.
That's a whole different podcast.
That's
All right, we
man,
won't. We
so
won't.
silly.
We won't go on that one because that could be separate. So
Okay. There's a science to teaching reading. I've got a master's degree in it.
did that person spell everything correctly?
Yes.
This one was in response to the back and forth in this thing was funny. Someone said, "No, you said it right the first time, girl," and the person that he was talking to, or she was talking to, I'm not sure which one. Well, I'm not a girl. I'm a grown woman with adult children. And no, we aren't naive to our own limitations. And we understand that while a traditional school may be the right fit for some children, families, it doesn't mean that it is right for everyone, nor is it either, excuse me, I'm sorry, nor, yeah, I jacked this all up, nor is either one superior to the other.
Yeah, I think one thing that happens is people think if you advocate for homeschool, you hate every other school option. For my children, I hate every other school option
Yeah.
and I would never send them.
But you don't hate teachers,
I
right?
don't. My best friend's a teacher. I don't hate teachers. I love teachers. I think they're amazing. I think their job is incredible. Um, I would never want to do that. But me saying, hey, mama, you are capable of homeschooling your child is not me saying teachers are the devil. And for some reason, it's like,
And some people take that personally.
yeah, it's bizarre to me because when I have friends who choose to send their kids to public school, I don't like think, why are you such why do you hate me? Like why do you hate my choices? My choices have nothing to do with their choices. People are just wild.
All right. I have a thought,
Uh-oh.
another thought. I'm going to read one more, and then
Mhm.
if I remember my thought, you know how
Mhm.
that goes.
Mhm.
Seemingly vintage.
Mhm.
See, I thought this coming out of school when I went to become a teacher. Like, I went to school. How hard can it be? Turns out super hard, and I became a teacher for one subject. I can't imagine doing elementary and having to teach all the subjects. I wouldn't want to homeschool because I am sure to do it well, it would require so much work. Heck, it requires so much work to prepare to teach one subject all day long. I worked 13-hour days. What would your response to that
I
be?
have two questions. Does this person have children of their own?
Mm-hmm.
Two, no one said homeschool wasn't work. It's definitely work. It takes a lot of preparation. It's exhausting. It is a ton of work. No one, I think people must just think like we wake up and like snuggle, drink some hot cocoa, read a book, and then like dig in the dirt all day and literally do nothing else. And just like hope our kids figure it out
Somewhere along the way.
somehow. Like the idea that saying, hey, I'm qualified to teach and that teach my children. I'm not qualified to go up to the high school and teach them. I'm teaching 30 some kids. No, I'm not qualified to do that. That is not my argument. My argument is, mama, if you want to homeschool, you absolutely can. It's going to be hard, but I believe, gosh, that dishwasher. I believe that any person who has their kids in school can find things that are hard about it. You have to pick your hard. I would have a very hard time with not being able to pick up and travel whenever we wanted to. And I think in Florida, you can only miss like 12 or 15 days. What the heck? Like, so of all those other days, I have to send my child to school and I can't say, well, no, we need a mental health day, or we're going to go visit my mom, or somebody passed away. We need to do this without having, and then they're going to tell me, like, no, like, they're not yours. You don't get to tell me, no, they're mine. That would be very hard for me. It's also very hard for me to stick to a rhythm. It's hard for me to, prepare the lessons, but we do it. It's just hard. You have to do it. But nothing's easy. Nothing worth it is easy.
All right, so last question,
Mhm.
and then we'll call it quits.
Okay.
The question is for those moms that moms and teachers, because we know some teachers that are like, oh, I would homeschool if I was capable of it, or I would homeschool if my family dynamics allowed for it. What would you say to those friends?
So, my true and honest belief is everyone can homeschool
If they want to,
if they want to,
if they have a desire for it.
if they have a desire for it. Is it maybe easier for a family like us where you work and I'm home and that's the dynamic? Probably, yeah. But we have friends who, husband and wife, both work two full time jobs and they homeschool and they make it work. We know people who homeschool, single moms that homeschool. Um, yes, it's going to be harder. You're going to have to change your entire life. It's a sacrifice. It's super sacrificial. Um, but I believe that you certainly can. I had a friend who said one time to me, "Well, we just can't afford it." And I know I have said, they have car payments and house payments, like other people. And I have said to you, we will live in my parents' basement before we will send our children to school. Like, that is just how much I believe that homeschool is the right choice for us. That we will sacrifice. We don't go on lavish vacations. We don't, spend money everywhere. We don't, we make sacrifices so that this dynamic works for us.
True that.
Hmm.
So, any last words?
Thank you.
I did not try today, but thank you.
You didn't? You did good.
I did not.
You're due, though. Thank you for joining us at Wonder and Wildflower. Until next time, nurture that wonder. I hate that I did the fingers. I really do. But it was too late then.
But you
I
already
was
did it.
gonna-
You committed.
I had to do it.
You committed.
Yeah.
All right.